Welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand. I am your host David, and alongside our good friend John. How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. My voice has been better. Still feeling the effects from tearing Alan Chapman a new one on Saturday, but
Yeah, it was good to see you, my friend.
good to see you as well.
Meet your brother, and we talked to our friend Mark over
Hmm.
there, my section mate, and wanna say hello to everybody that I talked to. There's obviously not the way we wanted to finish the game. Um, some ties feel like losses, some ties feel like wins. We're gonna talk about that. Just 10 seconds before we came in, OCB wins 3-2 over New York Red Bulls 2. The boys fought, came from behind,
Yep.
and just show what they're made out of. So congratulations to the boys. Great game over there in Kissimmee. And we're gonna start talking.
Sitting second on the East now, I believe.
Yes, I
OCB.
believe that's the case, John. So I will have to look into the standings.
Yeah.
But obviously OCV for the first time in its history. Well, since 2016 when we made the playoffs for the then USL Pro. We haven't had successful seasons neither in League One or MLS Pro next. So it feels good to finally have a good product. Last week we did not touch on these topics because we were such a we had such a heavy show. San Diego is the 30th team that is going to be joining the league. Uh, Feel bad for Sacramento. Sacramento has a very similar story than ours. They won the championship in USL. The same year we were leaving USL to join MLS. They were granted the expansion. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off, and the league felt that they had to move somewhere else. And just to let you know, guys, this is how easy uh, it could have gone for us. So you never take it for granted. How we had failed, Tampa Bay Rowdies would have stole that from us, and probably right now this would have been a podcast about the Tampa Bay Rowdies, as revolting as that sounds. Uh, so there you guys go with that. So, John, impressions about San Diego. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean it's sad. Honestly, you have Sacramento in the same state. Obviously, I believe it's the exact opposite side of the state. But then you have an MLS legend down there, Landon Donovan, coaching a team that has done their due diligence as well. In the USL, MLS, think they're just USL.
Mm-hmm.
Then and they get looked over. It's a money grab by Don Garber. Um, just the dude. I cannot wait for the dude to step down as president. It'll be a good day in United States soccer when that happens. Can't my disdain for that guy is very high. He doesn't do the beautiful game any justice in the states at all. Should have went to one of the lower tier teams. They should have been moved up just like they did with us. Like I said, instead he went with the cash grab. What was it,
Mm-hmm.
$500 million or whatever? To join the league is
Amazing.
ridiculous. Yeah,
Half a
uh,
billion dollars, friends.
yeah, and welcome to the league. Hopefully, you guys have a little bit more success than Orlando City did to begin with. To their supporters, it's a long road. It's a lot of building.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis City or St. Louis, that doesn't happen all the time. Just like look at Charlotte. Look where Charlotte is right now. Look,
Yeah.
Cincinnati. It took quite some time. It probably will take a little bit of time. Enjoy it. Enjoy the big show.
Absolutely, and unfortunately for San Diego Loyal, that means another road. Teams in lower leagues coexisting with MLS teams they don't they it just doesn't happen. We saw that in Austin as Austin Bolt pretty much capitulated. They fought valiantly for 2 seasons, but it was just too much. No, but nobody is going to go to a USL game when MLS is in town. It's
Yep.
just a fact, friends. I'm sorry to say, to burst your bubble. The other thing is, I know that the Charlotte Independence is still kicking in Charlotte. Again, I just don't see them surviving. League One versus MLS. I mean, impossible. But it is what it is. I wish them well. They don't join the league until 2025.
Mhm.
And again, if you have $500 million, I want to remind everybody that we paid 175. I believe that's how 150, 175, something like that. It was peanuts compared to what you have to pay now. If you have $500 million, you are going to go all out on that roster. You have to, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna throw $500 million just to become FC Cincinnati for 5 years. It's just not gonna happen. The salary list came out, and we got to see what everybody makes. And of course, people complaining. This guy makes this much money. This guy doesn't make enough money. Blah blah blah. Personally, it doesn't mean anything to me. How much money people are getting paid. The club is the one writing the checks. They're the ones making the determination if people are worth that money. I just buy my ticket, show up to the games. And anything to say about that, John?
I was surprised that we were as low as we were. I thought we'd be more middle of that list than, I think it was 26th. Just shows that,
We're bottom five in.
yeah, we have a lot of young talent. Got guys that probably in cheaper deals. Paying them their salary cheaper than a lot of teams probably would have. Hats off to the scouts and the front office for that. Because we got guys like Araujo that
Mhm.
dude's values jumped immensely since he's been here. He was virtually a nobody when he came in, and now he's the essentially the cog that keeps our team together. He makes play after play, and now he's getting more offensive, getting some more ball skill. He made a couple moves on Saturday that didn't know he had in the bag in his bag, and pulled them out and made some of the Atlanta players look silly. So take it with a grain of salt. It's kind of like you said, cool. I'm just happy we're not paying an Insigne, and a huge amount of money just to ride the pine because he's always injured or what have you. So,
Yeah.
it kind of tells me that our front office is doing a good job. Scouts are doing a good job, and really looking at what these players are doing and signing the guys to get contracts that benefit the club.
No, absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, I know there's a lot of people that equate spending a lot of money with success, and we got to see on the table that a lot of teams that are spending a ton of money not necessarily are being rewarded with that. I remember Ricardo Moreira telling me once when the whole Facundo Torres saga was going on, and he said, just because we have the money doesn't mean that we have to spend it. We have to be good stewards of the ownership's money. And it's just like Moneyball. If you've seen the movie Moneyball, wins, cash spent over wins. There's a correlation, and if you spend too much money for the wins, you're not gonna be making money. And the Wolves are here for the money. Anybody that tells you they're here for the love of the game, they're lying to you. I'm sorry. Nobody goes into sports for the love of the game. Because if it was for the love of the game, they will spend all their money into getting Messi and Ronaldo and I don't know whoever on that pitch. That's for the love of the game. Going broke, eating a cup of noodles for the wins. That's the love of the game. They're businessmen, and they're gonna do that. The EPL playoffs happened this past week. Incredible The game of football is cruel and unpredictable, my friends. And making history, Luton Town manages to, in less than a decade, go from the National League, the fifth tier of English football, to the EPL on a stadium that leaves a lot to be desired. So that was incredible. Over the week, I there was a family from England, Coventry fans, that unfortunately fell short at returning to the EPL after a 24-year absence. Got to talk to them. Got to talk a little bit about English football and stadiums and food and away support and all that. They were very complimentary, John. They just felt that the league is very physical. There was a good atmosphere. They really like the fact that the fan bases are not necessarily segregated. It shows this, their words. It shows a lot of maturity that unfortunately they don't have in England, where unfortunately people from different fan bases can not sit there without police protection or anything. Um, and last, about general football, my team Maccabi Haifa, their manager Barak Bakbar has moved on. He's gonna be coaching Red Star in Serbia. This is after winning the Israeli championship, or the premiership, 6 times in a row, 6 years in a row, 3 with Maccabi Haifa and 3 with Beersheba. So that tells you, friends. I've been using my team, or my teams, I should say, overseas as examples. The guy came in, left the silverware. On top of that, Israeli Super League trophy and the Toto Cup, which is their version of the Open Cup. So he leaves, what's that, 3, 4, 5 trophies in 4 years. There you go. Boom. See you guys later. I'm going to make more money. This is why, friends, we have said it in this show, and I would like to hear your opinion about this, John. This is what we have said on this show. We are not married to players or to managers, because they come and go. They're ships in the night. They're ships in the night. You gotta enjoy them while they're here, but they moved on. The average stay for a manager is 18 months. Oscar Pareja has been here for 4 years. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business to them. It's like, it's a brutal business. It's but they get paid a lot of money to do it. And they know coming in that it's going to be brutal. They're going to be critiqued at every turn, every wrong step, every loss will be critiqued by their bosses, by the front office to the nth degree, by the fans to the nth degree. So when they move on, unfortunately, it's part of the business. When they move on to what they see as a better opportunity. I know he got paid a bunch of money to move to Red Star. So it's a business move. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's thankful for the time that he had there and Israel, and it's business. You move on to the next best thing as a coach. And if you're at a job too long, as a coach, it kind of tells you that you're stuck. You're not improving at all. So it's business. It's a business. And
No, and the approach from Red Star happened after Maccabi Haifa eliminated them in the qualifiers for UEFA's Champions League. So that tells you there's always eyes on our players. And I say that because there has been some speculation about Facundo Torres, and I wasn't gonna segue to that, but I want to touch this so we can go into the comments that we have and talk about the game Saturday. There has been some speculation about if somebody out there interested in him. I have to say this: I like Facundo Torres, the person. I met the guy 5 times. Nice dude. His father, incredible individual. We all know. All you guys know the relationship that I had with him. He approached me when Facundo was the beginning of the negotiations were happening. I have met him in person. Incredible individual. A guy that a father that loves his son and wants the best for him. I met his agent at the airport. Very nice guy. And those of you from the ILF and the Rockets that were there that night know that I'm not making this up. You saw me talking on the phone with his dad, and then his agent coming over, and all that. Okay, I don't have to inflate my ego or myself to say that there was a point where I was that deep into what was going on in the club. Unfortunately, I had to extract myself from that because, well, we all know what was happening uh, online. And anyhow, the fact of the matter is that Facundo came in. He signed off for 5 years. If he's gonna get signed somewhere else, he's gonna leave a boatload of money here. And as a fan base, we gotta wish them well. That's it, friends. We can't be tied up to people, and I know sounds dumb because when we were in USL, we were married to those players. We used to see them around town, and Rob Valentino and all that. But you know what? Rob Valentino was there Saturday night with Atlanta. Did anybody went over to ask him for pictures or autographs or anything? No, because that was a long time ago.
Yep.
In football terms, that was ancient history. So, friends, that's what's going on. All I have to say about the thing with Facundo Torres, if somebody's interested and they're willing to pay us good money for him, wish him well. That's it. John, anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I know back in late February, someone on Twitter, respected source on Twitter, respected person on Twitter, put that he was close to signing an extension with a release clause. Came, everybody celebrated, and then there was no official word from the front office. Seems like the individual that tweeted it may have jumped the gun. I do know, obviously Facundo is a great talent, has a magical left foot, and there's a couple top league clubs out there in Europe that are keeping tabs on him. Obviously, we know about Arsenal, and there's a couple other squads out there that are looking for him. But the fact of the matter is, if he wants to play, he's not going to go to the Premier League or Bundesliga or Serie A or one of the top leagues, because the biggest weakness in his game, in my opinion, is his inability to use his off foot, his right foot.
Mm-hmm.
I really I thought he had a fantastic, one of his best games, even though he didn't score, one of his best games in purple on Saturday. The leadership was there. The movement was there. He touches the ball. The defense had 2, 3, 4 players around him, making sure he couldn't do anything. And he still found openings to, try to do some damage to make dangerous runs in. And they didn't they didn't pan out. But yeah, I mean, if he would learn to use his off foot, his right foot a little bit, shoot with it, go around guys with it, he would be, one of those players that we would see playing in the Premier League or in the Bundesliga.
No, absolutely. Those are coachable things.
Yeah. So, it's one of those I'm sure he's working on as a professional. And once he gets it, watch out, because he'll be tearing this league apart for sure.
No, for sure. And quick update on Open Cup. Still the championship of our country. Tournament dear to my heart, and one in which, until another champion is crowned, we remain the reigning champions. Last Tuesday, Miami eliminated Nashville 2-1. Cincinnati eliminated New York Red Bulls in PKs. Houston eliminated Minnesota. Surprisingly, LA Galaxy eliminated LAFC. A lot of people were saying that it was like their academy, really.
Yep.
They have so many tournaments they're interested in that Open Cup wasn't in the cards for them this year. And then on a cup set, Pittsburgh Riverhounds eliminating Columbus. Good for them. They were one of our greatest rivals in USL. Happy for the guys. Birmingham on another cup set. This one makes me mad when you think about it. Eliminating Charlotte. Charlotte I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte left the game after they eliminated us with inflated egos, and they lose to a USL Championship side. Good for Birmingham. Chicago eliminates Austin, looking to be the MLS teams with the most Open Cup championships if they make it to the big dance. Salt Lake City eliminated Colorado, and that's pretty much it. All right, friends, let's go. We got a quick comment here from oops, what happened? From our friend Jim D. There we go. Go ahead, John.
Jim D hardly have a voice from screaming "You suck" at Almada during his corner. Yeah, you hear how wonderful my voice sounds today. I sound like I'm about 12, 13 years old again.
No, for sure. Okay, so let's go to Saturday. 20,000 people showed up at 655 West Church Street, Exploria Stadium. I think we're gonna start seeing the big crowds again. The tourists are back. Our friends from Europe are back. School's out officially in Metro Orlando, and also, there's a lot of Atlanta fans there as well. So that inflated the numbers. So it was good to see Exploria like that. My impressions of how the game ended. I think that they're our bogey team. It's a team that we have defeated ourselves in our heads before we even play these guys. Every single time we lose to them is by one goal. Only once we have lost for more than one goal, and that was when we fired Jason Christ, and immediately we went up to Atlanta. And at that point, the caretaker that we had at the time, that guy didn't give a rip. He was just there. And aside from that, every time that we have tied with them, they are the ones scoring the last goal. That's why I was saying, if you score first and they equalize, it feels like a loss. If you equalize at the end, it feels like a win. And these people left the stadium. Listen, they're a shadow of the team they used to be. I just don't think they're that good. And unfortunately, we did the Papi special again, John.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we couldn't finish. Looking back at their goal, it was just a lucky bounce. But we always say football is cruel and unpredictable. Pound of talent, ounce of luck, and that's what happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Alan Chapman, I'm not blaming the referee 100%, but when you have Alan Chapman refereeing a game as Orlando City, because of the absolute debacle that happened in 2020 in the playoffs, we're already behind when you have him officiating a game. Don't know how that guy's a referee. Still, he's an embarrassment to the game. But I thought overall the game plan was good. Papi, it's back-to-back matches. I thought he had a very good game plan coming in, and it showed. I mean, we won 3-1 against Miami, and honestly should have won Saturday night. Just the players couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Had our chances. It was very disappointing. In some ways, I feel like this team doesn't have that killer instinct that a winning team needs to have. I mean, you saw it. We went down. They scored, and for the next
almost won it too, Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
Almost won it too. They had the chance to win it. So let's just say that.
Oh, I was getting there. Yeah, I mean, they scored to tie it up, and then it's like, instead of responding, our team loses composure and really tries to press to respond when they were already basically dominating the match, especially on the attacking part of the game. I mean, we outshot that. Had more shots on target than them, had more shots than them, by two. But we, they weren't prayer shots either, which is a lot of the
Mhm.
times in the past this season we've had a lot of shots, but they've been prayer shots. Just really disappointed. Really, disappointed that we weren't able to put a second or third goal in to seal the game. You know, but it was a good, good, like I said, good coaching performance. We can't sit there and blame Poppy for this one, because I personally don't think it was on him. I thought the game plan was about as perfect as you can have. It's tough because we're down. Gonzalez was out,
Mhm.
Petrasa was
Mhm.
out. Two guys that are crucial in the attack, whether they're starting or coming off the bench. So we were short in that aspect. I thought the subs were really good. I loved keeping Ojeda on the bench and hopefully kind of using him as a super sub, and he almost came through with that goal. And
Yeah.
Don made an incredible stop on his shot. I mean that ball's 3 more inches to the left. It's in the back of the net, and we're up 2-0, and probably come home with a win. And it is what it is. It's soccer. We have plenty of matches. We had a match 2 weeks ago that we had no business winning or drawing in Columbus.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We had no business drawing this one. We should have came away with a win. So it's a give and take. I said coming into the previous 4 matches: Columbus, New York, and Miami, and Atlanta, that we had to get 5 points. That's what we got. We moved up in the table compared to where we were 2 weeks ago, so you can't really complain. Go ahead, David. My voice is
No,
failing.
absolutely, my friend. I'm gonna read these comments. Unfortunately, I'm not even gonna ask you. Jim D, after 70, and we hadn't scored a second, we all knew that our fate was what our fate was going to be. Everyone around me saw it coming and was discussing its inevitability. Okay, hopefully I said that. I don't understand why I have a problem with that word. And no, Jim, listen, we're good friend Mark, constant listener of the show. He was sitting behind me, and I remember at the halftime. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you recall, John. He was just saying, "Listen, at this moment, I'm just preparing myself for the inevitable because, again, a one goal lead in this club means absolutely nothing, especially going into the 80th minute. Jim D, after 70 minutes, we all knew what was going to happen. Heard multiple people mentioning in my section. Well, Jim D, they were not wrong because over there in section 3 and 2, people were saying the same. William Aguilar, once they put in Martin Ojeda in the field, it's like we got a red card. He just disappears. His nickname should be Martin the Magician Ojeda. Jim D, I thought the way Poppy used Kyle Smith during the match was interesting. And you know what? I said it on my after the game reactions, and I invite everybody to follow us on social media. John and I are going to be getting in the habit of reacting after the game, so you guys can hear our takes on the game. I felt that Kyle Smith probably had one of his best games. He scored. Sometimes you need people like that, people that are not supposed to be scoring. If they give you 1 or 2 goals a year, that's awesome because those goals can win you points. This time, had it not been for him, well, guess what? The guys that get paid to score did not. And I'm not gonna. I know that some people were taking exception with Urchin Kara. Listen, the guy scored what 4 or 5 games in a row. He didn't score this time. So what? That's how it is. And we also have to be gracious to the opponent. Atlanta is a very good team. I'm not gonna say they are not because they're a so-called rival. I mean, they have a very good team. They have a very good goalkeeper in Brad Guzan, who I don't know. The second he plays Orlando City, he super re-energizes himself. Like I think the guy was out hurt. Next thing you know, he's been between the posts. So I don't know.
Yeah, he was supposed to be out 12 weeks because of I think it was a ruptured Achilles,
And look at him.
and
You know,
was only out 5 or 6.
look like a new man, like a new man. So again, the fact is that I don't think that we're ever gonna defeat Atlanta until we defeat Atlanta in our heads. I'm sorry. I will now. If you ask me, will I trade going to their house, full house, and beat them there in tie home? Yes, let's go ahead and do that. But it's what it is, friends. The statistics don't lie. They're our bogey team, and that's what it is. Did I want it to win? Sure. There's a lot of football to be played. We are going to be heading out to a very weak Red Bulls and this Saturday, and then we're gonna come home to a Colorado Rapids that are hot and cold this season. And I gotta say, we gotta go and do what we have to do. We have to go and win these two games coming up. We are we told you last week. Oscar Pareja has been giving his directives. Oscar Pareja, at this moment, the best he can do is a 1 year extension. The club is not crazy enough on the guy to sign him to a new contract. A 1 year extension is the best he can do. And in order for him to achieve that, he has to make playoffs. He has to win a playoff game, and he has to have a good showing in League's Cup. League's Cup is winnable. We're playing at home. We're playing at home. We are not going on the road. We're playing at home. It's winnable. Can we do that? I feel that, and with this, I give the microphone to John to conclude this thing. I feel that the boys know that you have to win these games, the games that matter to the fans, the derbies. You gotta win at home. You have to win at home. This year, we have won 3 games, right, John? Two home games. That, friends, is unacceptable. It's gonna be June 1st by the time our boys take the pitch again. So we won. We won in February. We won in April.
We won one against the Galaxy. Yeah.
That was April, right?
Yep.
Whew. And in May.
9 points through 8 home matches.
Wow. How many home matches we had so far?
8.
So out of 8 games, we won 2. No, guys, no. One of the things that people tell me all the time is, okay, we lost, but that doesn't mean that Oscar Pareja has to go. Okay, when we win, the same people go, see, we told you he's the second coming of the Messiah. Okay, we can't have these two measuring sticks. That if we win, it means the guy's the guy, and if we lose, doesn't mean anything. My position is the same. I had this conversation with Mark, John, and I was telling him because Mark is it was very on the fence because I was telling him, I say, and this is true story. I don't know if I have said it on the show. I was channel surfing on YouTube, and I found a podcast in Spanish with Oscar Pareja, and it is a podcast dedicated to Christians, Pentecostals in specific, in sports. And Oscar Pareja was a guest, and it's a very small show. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe have 46, 50 views, and Oscar was there. I watched it. Oscar is a man of faith, very, very given to his church, to his community. I have met him several times. I have said this. Saying, "Oh, I think we want to move on from Oscar." It's nothing against his person. He is the uncle that you wish you had. He's the uncle that you had not seen in a while when you talk to him, and his approach, his persona, everything about him just screams, I really like this guy.
Hmm.
But John, and we have said it, I think the tactics and the league have moved on, and we gotta get with the times. And I said already said it. Look at what happened with my very successful Israeli team that now probably is looking at if they don't make the right appointment, it's probably looking at some years of sucking again.
Yep.
But the success that we had the last 4 years is incredible. But that person moved on, and that's what happens in football, friends. And managers dictate the culture and the attitude of the team, and I think again, I just don't see us, John. I just don't see us reaching the new heights under the current regime. And
Yeah.
any thoughts?
um, Coaches are given one item in the job description typically, and that's win games. If you win, you got job security. If you don't win, probably not going to last at that place very long. And the fact of the matter is David and I David and I just want the club to win. If it happens with Poppy, great. Prove us wrong. Please prove us wrong. But David and I both see the same thing. We feel that the writing's kind of on the wall that it's the league has moved on, and we've said everything we need to say about it. There's nothing against Poppy. We both love Poppy. Think he's a great man. Think he was a good coach for MLS 2.0, 3.0, whatever one you want to say. We've been in the last 6-7 years when he did very well in the league. But fact of the matter is, this is a young league. It's a maturing league, and the play is going to change very quickly in this league, more than established leagues where they've been playing soccer for much longer in those countries alone, let alone the leagues. Atlanta's the match against Atlanta. I agree with Jim. I noticed that early in the match that they were playing kind of inverted with Kyle Smith. Thought that was an interesting wrinkle. I actually liked it because he does lack a little bit with speed. So they were kind of moving Araujo almost as a third center back when we'd be in attack, and Kyle Smith was playing kind of a number 6 role there with Cartagena moving forward. And then in the second half, they kind of abandoned it a little bit. Still, didn't really change much. I thought, we were still dangerous in the second half, still very dangerous in the second half, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of agree with what William said about Ojeda. But I feel like Saturday was an outlier where he actually kind of made his presence on. He had a very good shot, had some good key passes to open spaces, and you got to think against Miami, he scored a goal on a breakaway. So you can't, when a guy scores a goal, you can't. I'd have to disagree with you. Back to back messages, but overall, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
The next 2 matches coming up, we have David went over it. We have Red Bulls away and Colorado at home. I feel like those are 2 very winnable games, two games that we need to win, because you look at our schedule, the next 3 matches are not going to be easy. We have New England away, Philadelphia at home, and Seattle away. We never do well in Seattle. That's a tough trip. The flight, it's a 6-hour flight, if I recall. I made that trip a couple years ago to see a buddy. Climate's different. You're playing at elevation. It's just in Seattle's a good team. And then New England and Philadelphia were
It's turf on top of that. It's a very big stadium, a very big crowd, a lot of noise. For sure. In fact, Elliot Ellis, who is a very famous YouTuber with his channel Away Days. He was here at Orlando last year when we played Charlotte. Go and find that episode online. He has been to Orlando several times. He's low key an Orlando City fan. He just doesn't want to. He's aside from Leeds, his team. He doesn't want to declare loyalties because then people, you know how people are. But he just recently went to see a game at Seattle, and for the first time, I got the view from the stands, and it's just a huge. I mean, it's an NFL stadium. It's huge and very intimidating, by the way. With the tie against Atlanta, that leaves us with 20 points, seventh in the league. And I tell you, the it's very congested right now. Look at Cincinnati, unbelievable, 33 points on the top. Nashville, New England, Philadelphia, Atlanta, just 3 points more than us in the Charlotte with a point ahead. And below us in the wild card positions, you got DC with 19, Montreal with 18, and not making playoffs. Columbus, New York City, Chicago Red Bulls, Toronto, Miami, and Toronto's right. I'm sorry, Red Bulls right now is 13, 13th on the table, and so is Colorado on the West. So these are winnable games. We just gotta go. We just gotta go and win. Let's, John. Do you think you can read some of these comments?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
All right, here we go.
Jim D, I think Miami is like us last year. Neville putting all of his eggs into the Open Cup basket. I'm almost glad we're out, so we have no excuses in MLS play. William Aguilar, I always thought Kyle Smith was underrated. Don't know why Poppy would start Schlegel over him, maybe due to the height difference, but I'm not sure. Jim D, I thought the match overall was well played and entertaining. However, some of our main problems persist. Hopefully, we can continue to improve and iron those wrinkles out. And then William, responding to what I said about Ojeda. To be honest, Ojeda had 100% responsibility to score that goal against Miami. It was one-on-one against the keeper. If he wouldn't have scored, then his bad performance wouldn't go unnoticed. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before that he, disappears in matches.
Mhm.
We had a couple good ones back to back, and then nothing for 3 or 4 matches, maybe even more than that. I know they said when I rewatched it that Poppy had said that they're trying to ease him in slowly. That he wasn't quite. He's not making the adaptation to the league and to the, his new surroundings quite as quick as some other players or as they would have hoped. So they're kind of bringing him in slowly. And, he's a great player. He's another player. I know it's a cultural thing. But once he gets a right foot, use of his right foot, he's going to be another one like Torres that's unstoppable.
No, for sure. And I think, in all honesty, we haven't had the opportunity to string, winning streak yet this season. That is concerning. I know that winning streaks mean nothing. During the Christ era, we had a 7-game streak, a 6-game streak that went nowhere, absolutely nowhere. So we are heading out to the summer, which traditionally has been our worst part of the season, especially at home with the humidity and the heat. And and I always tell people we live in Florida for the winters, not for the summers. So those are facts upon facts. I think thankfully the fact that we're going to be playing Leagues Cup this year is going to give us a little bit of a break. That we're playing at home. How much of a break is that? I don't know. But yeah. Let's before anything else, I want to thank all the people that are watching us live. I also want to remind everybody that we're on Twitch, on the Capo Stand, Twitter on the Capo Stand, YouTube David's channel 76, Instagram on the Capo Stand, Facebook on the Capo Stand, If you want to be on the show, you can email us at foodiefan76 at Yahoo, or you can message us or DM us on any of the applications that I just read. You know, I'm gonna say this part. I know that because I've been told that um, there's some organizations that have told their membership if they come on the show that they're gonna be disbanded. Um, I I have noticed tonight that the people commenting and people coming on the show non-existent, and that's fine. I appreciate everybody that watches the show, and I understand that if you have to choose between being on the show or remaining a member, you're gonna choose the latter. Our show has always been about covering the team and about giving a platform to the fan. I just don't understand people that claim to be tolerant doing these things. But I just have to say that that we are not here to attack anybody or do anything like that. It's personal. I get it. It's because I'm here. It's me. So I just want to let you know that it hasn't gone unnoticed, and that's fine. If just me and John talking for an hour, so be it. But what you're doing is it's not the right thing to do, John. So let's go ahead and talk about our next game, which is
I actually got something to say
yeah, you're right.
about what you were just talking about. I know my voice is painful to listen to. Don't worry, I'm not in any
Okay.
pain. It's just the after effects from being a supporter. Listen, we know it was the supporter groups, and this is me saying this. This isn't David. I laugh at you guys, and I know this isn't going to make them any bigger fans of us. I laugh at you guys. You guys act like you're all for the club. Act like you want what's best for the club. You want what you want to show passion and loyalty and all this, but then you guys go out and think you're these authoritarian groups that can run people's lives outside of being essentially cheerleaders. You guys don't do any or very little community service like you used to do. Cool, you make the typhos. Cool, the amazing typho on
Amazing.
Saturday. Cool, congratulations. But you guys are a supporter group. We don't sit here and do anything. David's a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. We're not going to sit here and say these astronomical things. Yes, David had his downfall a couple months ago. He's acknowledged that he made a mistake. He's apologized for it, and he understands there's retributions to it. But for these supporter groups to try to control their members, mind you, the members are paying you guys. It's not the other way around. You don't get to tell your members, don't do this outside of the stadium. Don't do that outside of the stadium. Away from match day, away from our tailgate. You guys are there to support the club on game day and do community service, which, like I already said, you don't do much of. So you're making a laughing stock of people like myself that aren't the biggest fans of you right now. Listen, I was Ruckus till I die until last year. It was the third match of the season that I went to. And I started seeing things in your group. And if you guys want to address me correctly, my Twitter handle's right there. Please DM me. I'll give you my phone number and we can talk about it. But the way you guys are acting is spitting on the graves of your past members. And I'm going to go there. Of the passion and the friendliness that they showed towards everybody. You have become so unwelcoming and such a turnoff with your high school drama that it is ridiculous. It makes the games almost not fun to go to anymore because people like me that aren't members of the Ruckus or the ILF aren't allowed to sit in the 7 rows magically when that's never been enforced before. All of a sudden, you don't let the state flag of Florida in the match. We live in the state of Florida. We're the football kings of Florida. We should be allowed to fly the Florida flag. Like I said before, let's stop the pettiness and get back to supporting the damn club like we're supposed to. You will not find another individual as passionate about this club as my friend David is. And for you guys to be attacking him or seemingly attacking him by not letting people come on our show, you're just making us laugh. This show's going to be here whether you guys want it to or not. The viewers are nice. Having people on makes it more fun for us. But David and I have just as much fun talking about the club, talking about the previous matches and the upcoming matches, the transfers, everything that goes into it. That we do this as a hobby. Tell your members what you want. You guys are just making yourselves look like the clowns that you have been the last 2 or 3 years. So please keep giving me and David the comedy relief that you've been giving us this year, and carry on with your authoritarianism policies that you guys are going with right now for some odd reason, out of spite for something that you guys haven't made clear yet. But that's all I have to say on that.
Okay, there's nothing more else to add, my friends. We have said what we had to say. So we're going out to New York Red Bulls away, a place that has not been very kind to us. I would like to remind everybody this is the last place any Orlando City player ever had a hat trick. And sometimes I like to revisit some of our great games. And that in 2015, seeing Kyle Aaron just have a go at Red Bulls, then it was incredible. Last time we went up there, we defeated them. So right now, Red Bulls is not having the best. They fired a manager. They had a slight bump. Unfortunately, they have been tumbling up on themselves as of late. And I'm going back to see who they played last, and that was and I'm sorry, I should have done this before the game. I don't think they played, did they?
I don't believe so.
No, yeah, they did play Seattle away, losing 1-0. So they're coming back from that long trip that we were talking about. They're coming back from a defeat. They're coming home, and they're coming to do get it done right. Also, they're out of the Open Cup. To be honest with you, I felt that they were one of the favorites to win it. Right now, I mean, now that they're out, it's anybody's guess. I'm gonna be a party pooper. I'm gonna be rooting for Birmingham and Pittsburgh because they are the little guys, and I want them to do good. And there's no way I'll be rooting for Miami. But yeah. What we have to do, friends, is we have to go out to New Jersey and just get 3 points. This is one of the things that I have discussed with a lot of you at the stadium, where we always say that we are slum busters and we're charity. The teams that are having a bad season, we sort of all of a sudden Exploria Stadium or the other team stadium becomes a tent revival, and we are laying hands on the sick and they're healing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We can't keep doing this, friends. We can't keep doing this. And I say that with a lot of respect. I don't mean to offend anybody when I say that, but the fact of the matter is that we tend to be what the doctor ordered for a lot of people, and then also we play at the level of bad teams. So going to Red Bulls and ending the game in a tie wouldn't surprise anybody. Is that right, John?
Yeah, I mean, we've been, I said it when we played Charlotte. Traditionally we've been the team that plays a team on a losing streak, and the losing streak ends with us. Luckily we weren't that way with LA Galaxy. We beat them 2-0. Yeah, I mean, you got to beat Red Bulls. They're kind of in a downward tailspin after the unfortunate events that happened in one of their matches about a month ago, with some racial things being said by one of their players, and they're still dealing with the fallout of that. And we got to win. We got, if we can't win at home, we at least got to keep winning on the road. We played them. That was our first match, correct? I believe, and we won't beat them on the iffy penalty. So this is a team we seem to be more on the upswing than we have been all year. We got more players coming in the form. Poppy seems to have figured some things out with this group, and they've been looking a lot more threatening than they did a month ago. So we should win. I hope we win. I hope the team can come out with the attitude they came out the last 2-3 matches, with the intensity. Keep that intensity for the full 90 minutes, not just 45 like traditionally has been this year, and put a couple goals in the first half. Really put it to them. I mean, we've shown we can score against New York. Last year, it's essentially the same team. Defensively, especially, I know they lost the center back to LAFC, but he's rarely playing. So we got to stop being slump busters for the other teams and really lay it to the teams that are struggling instead of playing down to their level. I want to hit on William's comment real quick, if you don't mind. William Aguilar said, "Don't worry, guys. We're always here to watch and talk unbiased about the club as it should be. I wanted to be part of a supporter group, but after seeing this, lesson learned for me." Yeah, I mean, William, I'll be honest.
Thank you, William.
Thank you. The supporter groups used to be amazing. 2017, 2018, 2019. Really, like I said, until about 2 years ago, is when I started to see the change. I was a member from 2015 until last year. And just, as I stated in previous comments, started seeing things that I didn't like and wasn't what the supporter groups were and wasn't what drew me to the supporter groups. And it's unfortunate because, they're part of what Orlando City's known for. I mean, in those losing years, other than being a bad team, we were known for our supporters. And, when I was a part of them, especially the first several years, we did, a lot of community outreach, planting gardens, cleanup, stuff like that. And, you just don't see that anymore. And that's what, a supporter group is there to be an outreach for the club and
an advocate for the fans.
Yeah. And really inviting to non-members and non-supporters of the club to be there. And, honestly, you're a supporter, whether you're a member of a supporter group or not. And that's what, kind of gets lost in soccer in the United States, in my opinion, is everybody has this thing where you have to be a member of a supporter group to be a true supporter, and that's just not true. But thank you for your comment, William. You're always there. Thank you for always watching us and commenting and
being on the show as well.
Same with Jim D, that's always there, and the others.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we got a comment from Jim.
Yep. Poppy does need to get an overlapping runner for Facu. I noticed Atlanta just started to clog the middle and wait for Facu to cut towards the center. Yeah, that's where we miss Mikey Holiday. They started doing that with
Mikey. He's on international duty.
He's on international duties. I think he started every game for the U20 so far, which are undefeated through the group stage, top of their group stage.
Okay, fantastic.
Have a pretty favorable road to the final. I think Brazil is the biggest team standing in their way, and I think they would meet them in the semifinals, I believe. But I mean, when Mikey come, that's another thing that we were missing. We couldn't really sub out any of our fullbacks on Saturday because of Mikey being on international duty and Petrasso still being injured. And then even Gonzalez, who has stepped into that, more of a wingback role, but he can play fullback if needed be. He's injured. He's out for at least another 2 weeks until they figure out exactly what's wrong for him. So, but yeah, I mean, they started to do that when Facu that's why Facu did so well in the middle, is he had outlets overlapping him before Pereira came back. But yeah, New York, we need to win. Back to New York, we need to win this match. Like I said, the next two matches, New York and Colorado, are two teams that aren't doing very well at the moment. Two games that we need to win because the three matches after that are going to be extremely difficult.
Oh, John, I just got some good news for you.
What's that?
For everybody. Red Bulls is playing at Miami this Wednesday.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them on the low.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, think about this. You just went to Seattle. Then you are going to the heat of Vice City this Wednesday, and then you gotta go home to play Orlando. I mean, an Orlando that is fresh, ready to pounce.
Yep.
Listen, if we don't walk away with 3 points from Red Bull Arena, friends, somebody better call somebody. Because I mean, easier than this is not going to be. Period. So I'm sorry I interrupted you there, John, but
No, you're fine.
I just saw that and I was like, oofa.
Yeah, not that even adds to it. So hopefully we can, like I was saying until I saw Williams' comment.
No, for sure.
Team needs to come out with the same intensity, the same drive that they've had.
Mm-hmm,
and I mean, goals are going to come and goals are going to go. I'm not worried about what we saw Saturday against Atlanta. I thought the team, that's the most dangerous we've looked all season. Period. Plain and simple. Most dangerous we've looked. In possession, on the counter, it didn't matter. We were, getting opportunities and looking dangerous. Guys were making runs. And real quick, to go back to the Atlanta match, I completely slipped my mind to say that. My brother, you said you met my brother Saturday.
Uh-huh.
He was visiting me from Cincinnati, never been to a professional soccer game before, and loved it. He couldn't stop talking about it Saturday night. It was, and even though it was only a 1-1 draw, that's what David and I have been saying or pleading with the coaching staff is we need to be playing exciting soccer. And even though it was only a 1-1 draw, you still had that feeling we were going to put a goal in at any second we were in possession.
Correct.
Which was good to see. And, we had a really good experience. It was a fun match. And, he loved it. But yeah, we were watching the replay Saturday night after I did my reaction video, and there were multiple times I stopped the game, rewound it, and said, "Watch this. The team wasn't doing this before, and it was opening up space in the middle for us to attack." So those are all positives to see overall. I'm positive. As disappointing as Saturday was, still positive. Still feel like that for the first time this year, the team is heading in the right direction. It's just sad it took us. Almost.
Yeah, it's football. It's football. Yeah. It's football, my friends. It's what we always say, cruel and unpredictable. This Wednesday, we wanna wish the best to LAFC as they are going to the first leg of the final against Leon for the championship of CONCACAF, CCL, and again, this is they're representing our league, and obviously we want to wish them the best. With that, it will be second time in the history if they pull it off that MLS team gets to win it. Unfortunately, Seattle was one game and done in the Club World Cup. So yes, friends, 7:30 this Saturday, June 3rd, in Red Bull Arena in New Jersey. It's gonna be the game. I know there's a lot of people that listen to us that live in that part of the country that support Orlando. Go support the boys. This year we've been blessed to have at least a handful of supporters going to follow the team, and that brings me a lot of joy. And we are going to be returning, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We are going to be returning home Saturday, June 10th, 7:30. We're going to be facing Colorado, a game that is very important to me because I'm going to have friends from England joining me and I expect it to be a good time. Because again, if we don't defeat Colorado um, at home, another team that is going to have a midweek game, then friends, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
We are already reaching over the hour. We want to thank everybody that joined us, that commented, that's going to watch this later on, that is going to consume it on audio form. We appreciate all the people that week after week consume the content. We appreciate everything. Encouraging everybody to follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. What am I leaving behind, John? I think I covered everybody.
You got everything. I'm still working on getting the TikTok up.
Yeah,
up
for
and
sure.
running.
And John and I took a picture together, so we'll be on the lookout in our social media to see two sexy beasts. Basically toning it down, because when you're born with certain masculine attributes, you have to be very responsible and careful on how to display that into the world. We're taken men, unfortunately, ladies. But you never know. You never know. You may be lucky, and you may find if it's a Orlando City supporter, even better. So be on the lookout for that. I like I was telling you, friends, I'm very excited about Saturday. Our boys are doing great. We have two last comments here before we go. Oh, Ahmed Salim, what's happening, my brother? John.
Ahmed Salim, hey guys, sorry I joined late. We'll have to catch up on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
No worries. We understand it's a holiday, and people have
trust me.
parties and such.
Yeah,
and then,
for sure.
Jim D also had a comment in there as well.
Oh, sorry.
Jim D said, "Please let them beat Fort Lauderdale, and then we have our way on Saturday." That would be nice. That would be very nice.
For sure, man. So yeah, Open Cup is still going, coming up, and like I said, in July we are going to be doing Leagues Cup, which I'm very excited for. That another opportunity to win a trophy, another opportunity to get to CCL. In my opinion, is a tournament that we need to take seriously. We need to take all tournaments seriously. I was very disappointed at the opinion of some people saying, "Oh, well, we're out of Open Cup. Who cares?" Like I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm jealous at the fact that I'm gonna tell you this. Had we had stayed in the Open Cup, our path to the championship is easier this year than it was last year. Because last year we had to beat the heavy hitters. Union, Philadelphia Union, Miami, Nashville, Red Bulls. I mean, we had to go through hell and back. And not to take away from Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're a very good USL team, and also Sacramento. So I don't want to hear that it was given to us. There was 4 or 5 times in that tournament where I thought we were done, but I always say God is the God of the 11th hour, and He loves idiots, drunks, and children. And Orlando City Exploria Stadium is packed with those type of people. So there you go.
I just raised my hand for people.
There you go. Same here. I'm raising both of my hands. All right, John. Where can we find you in the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at that boy JRDub, Instagram JRDub15. Keep up all if you need somebody asks about the show. All the links are on our social media, in the bio on the link tree. The most YouTube's up there, everything's up there. Med commented again, Miami game was great, but it was Miami. I honestly think that we played better against Atlanta when you compare games. Absolutely.
And when you get to watch the show from the beginning, I mean, you're gonna see that we're gonna agree with you 1,000%. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was saying all the social media is in our link tree. If you guys missed, can't remember one of them, and you already follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and I believe you have it on the Facebook as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, just go ahead and interact with us. Send us messages. I can be found on Instagram at _Florida_man76. Obviously, we are reachable on all the other applications. I'm gonna give my TikTok as well. Is at DV Orlando. So you guys can find me there as well. I haven't been super active on the social media. My job is kicking me, but the beauty of it is I'm gonna be in town the rest of the week, and like I said, I'm looking forward to our next home game. Um, Saturday was my first game at the stadium in a month because obviously I missed the game against New York City because I was traveling for work. So it just felt nice, and so far it looks like the games are so stretched out. I really can't wait. Really can't wait. I love going to the stadium. So
it was our first game too because it was like the last month. Every time there was a home game, one of us was
yeah.
sick.
No, for sure. It's what happens. It's what happens when you have a toddler, and it's part of life, John. It's part of life. And when you have when you and your partner have another one, it's just back to square one. So with that, I'm right now. I'm super angry. I'm going to work in the morning, and my kids are staying in bed, and my wife they have nothing going on for the summer. So that's my purgatory. But I'm looking forward to my vacation next month in July. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, and having friends join me our next home game. With that said, friends, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And hopefully next Monday we will be talking about 3 points in the bag and looking forward to returning home to face Colorado. With that said, I want to remind you that the game of football is for those that don't mind having their mouths smashed and their hearts broken. From John and from myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando.